Pleasant day to all. We are the Group 10 of STC112 Section 3M. In this video, we are going to discuss about literacy training program and service.
Good day everyone, this is Rochelle Zubiri from Group 10. My topic is about all children can develop literacy skills. What is literacy? Literacy means being able to read and write. Why is reading important? A child's reading skills are important to their success in school and work. In addition, reading can be a fun and imaginative activity for children, which opens doors to all kinds of new worlds for them. Reading and writing are important ways we use language to communicate. Research has identified 5 early reading skills that are all essential. First, phonemic awareness. Being able to hear, identify, and play with individual sounds in spoken words. Second, phonics. Being able to connect the letters of written language with the sounds of spoken language. Third, vocabulary. The words kids need to know to communicate effectively. Fourth, reading comprehension. Being able to understand and get meaning from what has been read. Lastly, fluency. Being able to read text accurately and quickly. Child's literacy development. Communicating, rhyme, reading. Foundations for literacy. The ability to speak, the ability to listen, the ability to understand, the ability to watch, and the ability to draw. The connection between letters on a page and spoken words. Pictures and objects, letters and words, sounds. 6 pre-reading skills that children must have before they can learn to read. First, print motivation, thinking that books and reading are fun. Vocabulary, knowing the name of things. Print awareness, recognizing print and understanding how books work. Letter knowledge, understanding that each letter has its own name and sounds. Narrative skills, being able to tell stories and describe things. Phonological awareness, being able to recognize and play with the smaller sounds that make up words.
Roles of teachers when interacting with children. Number 1 role, director. They must tell the children what to do, make suggestions, and ask lots of questions, also being an entertainer. They must join in with the children, sit down with them and talk about what they are doing, and keep talking so that the children cannot talk. Next role is timekeeper. They must rush through the activity so that they can stay on schedule. Do not stop to listen to anyone. Next role is silent watcher. Teachers must sit with the children but do not talk to them, even if they ask you questions or seek your attention. Next is rescuer. Assume that the children cannot speak for themselves. Step in repeatedly to offer help or do things for them. Next, responder. Watch, listen, and learn what each child wants to do or what she or she needs. Respond to any ways that allow individual children to talk with you and with each other.
A good day to all of you. I'm the one who's gonna discuss about the importance of reading aloud. So what does reading aloud do? Why is it important? Here are some listed facts about reading aloud. Builds word sound awareness in children. Stimulates language and cognitive skills. Stimulates language development even before a child can talk. Builds motivation, curiosity, and memory. Gives children the opportunity to practice listening. They'll notice the difference between written words in books and words from actual conversation. So it helps children develop many kinds of benefits even when they're just starting to learn how to talk. Children will recognize more words in their vocabulary. Children will learn how to handle books. Presents books as sources of pleasant, valuable, and exciting experiences. Lets children use their imaginations to explore people, places, times, and events beyond their own experiences. In short, there are many benefits when you teach them to read aloud or if you read aloud for them. It can help them learn fast and use the skills that they have developed in the future. This is Joshua Caleb C. Vitug, and thanks for listening. Godspeed,
I'm
people.
San Juan and this is Emergent Reading. Emergent reading is the state where children acquire the basics of reading properly. They learn the procedures of reading books just as how adults would. Children as young as 24 develop a sense of literacy as they explore books. Children developing emergent reading enjoy two kinds of reading, scaffolded reading and independent retelling. In scaffolded reading, a child reads a book with an adult and the adult assists the child to speak, while independent retelling begins with a child reading a book based on its pictures. There are 7 stages of emergent reading. First, children learn to distinguish a book from other things. Second, they figure out how to manipulate and respond to books. Third, they learn and enjoy from listening to stories. Fourth, they express creativity based from the content of the book they've read. Fifth, children combine reading strategies when retelling stories. Sixth, they now focus on recognizing words and sounds. And seventh, they start to utilize everything they've learned to understand what they are reading.
Sharing books without reading the words. Strategies such as the following two show families how to share books with their children without reading the words. Models how to look at and talk about a wordless picture book. These are the following questions are asked the child to make up a story to go with the pictures. Models how to look at the book and talk about the pictures. Tell the story in your own word. Let the families help your children learn that books are important. Talking about books, let children know that their families think books are valuable. Include books on tape in your lending library or suggest that families borrow them from your local library. And the last, encourage families to tell stories to their children. This is an opportunity to pass on a family's history, reinforce cultural values and belief, or create imaginary characters and situations. Learning about writing. According to Leberman, 1985, most young children find it easier to learn to form the letters of the alphabet than to read them. Children pass through the stages as they develop the skills used in drawing and writing. They come to many understanding that lead them to conventional writing that follows the accepted rules of form, grammar, and spelling. At each stage, children acquire new information about writing. They use what they already know to make sense of new discoveries.
Hello, I'm San Juan, here again to discuss the stages of drawing and writing. First comes early scribbling. It is the stage when toddlers use crayons and paper to doodle. Next is controlled scribbling. Here the child can regulate his or her scrawling due to several practices. Then we have basic form stage where a child is able to discern, recognize, and understand basic shapes and letters. Last is the pictorial stage. A child can now draw or paint what they want and the output is recognizable to others.
And next topic is activities for teaching literacy in the barangay. Activity 1. What makes a good book good? Student trainer shall: Number 1. Define what is reading. Next, learn about emerging literacy. Third, discuss appropriate books for children. And lastly, plan ways to use barangay facilities as learning environments. These must be the outcomes. Student trainers and facilitators must encourage children to develop a love of reading. Select books that reflect children's interests, skills, abilities, cultures, and families, and collaborate with families to ensure that every child has access to books and has time for reading. Activity 2. Using prints in the environment. Prints that says what things are or where things belong. Examples are labels that name things. Prints that reminds you what to do. Example, a list of a new simple rules. Prints that provides information. prints that ask you to respond or contribute. These are tips. Use English or home languages. Hang up on children's eye level. Activity 3. Helping your child become a reader. This activity can be done wherein the participants are parents of the children in the adopted barangays. Tell these pointers to the parents to help their children become a reader. Number 1 pointer, talk with the child. Watch and listen to them. Pay attention, respond to their queries, and talk about what you heard. Give interesting experiences to talk about. Read aloud every day. Read at the same time every day. Read when your child asks you to. Relax and let your child set the pace for reading. Ask your child to read aloud. Read your child's favorite book over and over. Activity 4. Children learning about writing. Allow the child to write what he hears or sees. Let him invent the spelling of what he is going to write. Activity 5. Open-ended questions for reading aloud. Stop to ask open-ended questions that encourages the child to talk about the characters, setting, or plot. Instead, ask the questions listed below to let the children participate in the story, express their feelings, and think critically. Questions are, what do you think may happen next to the story? What would you do if you were? What did you like about the story? What character in the story did you like best? Why? What new words did you hear and learn? What ending would you make to the story? Next activity, describing an emergent reader. This was an activity for the child. Activity 7. Bring literacy outdoors. Examine the outdoor area used by children and think of ways to offer literacy-related activities. Example, trace letters in the sandbox. Look for shapes in the nature that looks like letters. Read under a shady tree. Activity 8. Make your own book. Plan and lead a bookmaking activity. Next, help children in making their books. Have children take their books at home to show their families. And lastly, provide simple and basic materials to make books at home.
I hope you've learned something from our video. Thank you for watching.